grote drukte op het vliegveld. Er staan 2 toestellen. Het schijnen van de loop- en air technische afdeling te zijn, want ze wilden een proeflanding uitvoeren met een zwaarder vliegtuig. De proeflanding is mislukt. En dan staat hij ergens op het strand, met omringd door een heleboel mensen en machines. Proberen hem eruit te trekken. We gaan dus een beetje dichterbij kijken. En ze moeten natuurlijk opschieten, want als het vloed wordt dan verzuipt het ding. En ik kan nu ook echt een houtje kennelijk een beetje in beweging komen. Er staan nog heel veel mensen en crashes omheen. Je ziet de plaats waar hij is geland, de zand helemaal omhoog gekomen. Ik ben wat dichterbij gekomen. Het is een grote druktunnel rondom. Omdat daar de sporen zien achter in de zand zijn getrokken, die blijven steken. Ja, hoe laat de vloed opkomt weet ik niet, maar de grondstewardess in de verkeerscontrole, die was behoorlijk in paniek. Ja, er komt weer extra hulp bij om eruit te trekken, om vooruit te trekken. Zwaar materiaal aangereden, want de vloed komt op. De motoren gestart. Geef weer een duwtje, trek eraan jongens. Misschien houden we een dijk aan. Dan komen dat de vloed opkomt. Nou, kijk het scherp. Dwars door de zee, opkomende tij, naar die bovenplaat.
Oh, ze moet weer even opbellen.
Je moet even gebeld worden.
Maar is er nou genoeg nodig?
Ja. Nu krijgt ze die ook wel.
Of steekt weer water in? Of niet?
Ja, dat ken je wel. Ja. Die komt straks ook nog eens te steken.
Kan je door die kijk ook kijken?
Nee, zie je.
Ja, met z'n vijf hier. Lang onder de...
Ja.
Die man die heeft het nog vast. Ja, dan leg je bij die trekker. Deze wil die... Is dat nog echt groot vliegtuig?
Nou.
Is het dan niet anders?
Ja, ja. Hoor. Dit is een half.
Dit is een grote airline. Nou, dat vliegtuig niet duur. Kan niet.
Dit is verhogen. Trek die er net weg.
Trek de dingen staan achter. Daar gaat hij zo schip.
Ja, daar gaat hij.
Ja, het is eruit als je het dan is liggen. Het is piloten.
Dat was het, ja.
Iedereen eruit. En dit is die shuffle.
Die shuffle die had hij net over vast. Dat weet je tenminste net. Maar die nou niet
ja,
meer
dan
nodig.
ook bij de kabel vast.
Ja.
Die gaat komen. Ik ga die kabel vastmaken aan. De remloop. Dat had ik ook even in de straat, want dat gaat er naartoe.
Valt dat er niet?
Nee, die kan wel. Dat is
Ja.
Ja, dus aan die endlopen. Nou, houdt hij met dit opstaan. Hij moet meerijden, want dat kan net ook niet achter. Zag dat hij die helemaal op?
Ja, ja. Hij trekt die lem
Ja,
erop.
ja, ik trek er
Daar gaat hij ook. Daar gaat hij even uit.
de tractor die andere tractor
Ja,
gaat ook.
schitterend.
1, 2, 3. Oh.
En nou doorgaan. Oh, wat mooi.
Oh, nou, met z'n
En
drieën.
dan is hij weg.
Kijk, daar gaat die shuffle, hè. Dan gaan we erop. En die Land Rover en die tractor die trekken. Die Land Rover die aan het trekken en die andere.
Ja.
Die tractor kan het hele vliegtuig trekken. Gaat die nu op even af?
Ja, dat kan.
Moet hij gauw weer opkoppelen?
Heeft de e-motor aan, hè?
Nee, de tractor is bijna. Die kabel is al helemaal los. Ja, door. Kijk, we gaan die vastmaken. Kijk hier.
Ja, dit wordt
Kijk op dit hoor.
pretty goed uit. Nou, zo zijn de passagiers vanzelf dus aangekomen zijn. Maar stond er wat binnenzee. Inmiddels goed worden. Gaat die water in. Nee, dat is goed. plaats van in het vliegtuig. Dat is ook zwaar. Dan kijkt er nog eens naar. Wij gaan gelegd om de vrij lager aan. Echt de tijd van de pioniers zoals weer. Hier staat de vloot. En de kleine stender. Nog eens een keer opgesteld, die moet zo ook weg. Anders staan we dus door water verzocht. Stewart, nee, nee. Nou, ik weet niet wat hier op komt staan. Komt hier.
Heb je afgezegd, hè?
Daar is er eentje. Daar zit er twee. Hier, slap bij elkaar. Oh ja, kom maar uit. Kom maar uit. Hier is de broer ook weer. Hey. Kom nou, dat waar je net niet. Nee, dat zou ik niet. Dit is het robbeneiland. Dat kan je goed zien op de film, maar we kijken vol met grote dikke zeerobben. En de zeerobben die komen op de fles af. Kom allemaal even naar ons kijken. Oh, daar is die. Oké. Weg. Zie je hem? Ja, dat grote koelensen. Dit lens dichterbij. Ja, houd het.
Ja, nu heb ik een beeld. Heb je dit zo?
Ja, ja.
Daar ligt er ook in. Daar zit weer een zeehondje. Dan gaat hij onder. Dan gaat hij onder.
Ja.
Dan komt hij weer.
Dat gaat hier. Ja, dat is op.
Ja, zo.
Dit is echt goed. We gaan ook aan het water. Oh nee, dan gaan we op de achter.
Maar ik
Dit gaat bij de zwembad. Zwart is. Lammers zijn dicht willen.
zie je daar de witte stand? 2. Ja? Een grote witte stand.
Kleintje.
Ja, hier van daaronder. Komt weer.
Oh, kijk, dat is
Ja. Nou, het is al heel groot.
ja.
En terwijl we filmen, staan we aardig in het water. Het water komt op. Dat is goed.
Oh, ik blijf met dat geintje wat achter dit gaat de koe aan.
Dan gaat het vliegtuig
Dat is al Albert.
op het vliegveld.
Je wordt dadelijk ingesloten door het water.
En we gaan nu weg. Ja. Dat is al aardig wat water uit. En ik zeg heel fascinerend weer. Zeeman. Ja, dat aardig met water. En ik heb er ook 2. Kleintje en grote. Nee, er ligt wat naast. Ja, er weer een. Hier naartoe. Ja, kijk, het hier. Komt hij aan. Leuk. Zie je hem, Felix? Buiten. Het is onder water. En ik denk dat ook nog als je stopt water eroverheen. Dan heb je zien dat het afkomend water is. Volgens mij gaat hij er niet in. Hij zou moeten gaan zwemmen. De zon is erbij. Die landen zo weg, hè? Niet. bij zitten. Zit op zijn schoolslag aan het zijn.
Dan gaat hij om. Ja, ook dan.
Daar?
Ja. Zo verder.
Ik zoek. En ik kan niet. En daar is hij dan.
Nou, weer. Ja, alles weg. Nou, 1 en 2 rechts.
Waar? Rechts? Oh, dan moet je naar rechts.
Nou, ja, alle twee.
Alles onder.
Nee, nooit.
Ik zie helemaal niks.
Gaat even weten.
En daar is hij dan. Hupsakee, met een grote pomp onder.
Met een pomp.
Ja, heel leuk. Daar zijn hij. Tweetjes. Hoe snel daar? Ja, daar zijn we nog. Het is al hoog uit. Het is al hoog. En daar staat.
Vliegtuig. Nou, daar koele gaat in. Zo moest je ook even kijken waar het vliegtuig was gebleven. Nou, ze zijn aan het spelen. Kijk wie langs onder kan blijven. Of langs de boven kan blijven. Oeh. Ze zijn weg. Hier vaart iemand met een bootje. De wind lekker over het water. Tussen de zeerobben door. Kijk maar. Oh.
Nee, ik vind het konijntjes. Zo maar hier in het veld. Kan het zijn. Het is echt een puur natuurlijk. Dit is met z'n tweeën. Door de tuinen. En dan zie je in de verte zee. En dan zijn we zo weer. Geen wat je zegt. Ja, is het dan niet idee? Daar ben ik eens al van, hè? Die staat niet in de tuin. Oh, wat een tuin. Lekker als je luizen aan hebt gezet, zacht de poel, anders denk ik.
Ja. Ja, mooi. Die mag er boven zijn. Dat is een puffin. En waarom die zo zenuwachtig is, dat weet ik niet. Ik denk dat ze net hier in de buurt is. Een hele wilde kust. Dat is de wilde zee. Niemand. Geen huis, geen mens, niks, niemand. Ja. Tien heeft nu haar hele trui even aanbieden. Kijk, dat is wat. Beluisteren. Puffin. Wat denk jij dat het zijn? Zwarte vogels, zwart-witte vogels met oranje snavel. En oranje vogels. Puffin. Hoe doe je dat zo heen? Dat is zenuwachtig. Ben jij dezelfde van de net? Of ben je een andere? Hé, daar is een nestje. Vast en zeker. Daar is een nestje, Tine. Er zit een andere ook. Ja hoor. Kan je dat zien, Tine? Kijk eens, daar zit die andere ook. Dat is het nestje. Zitten daar die kleine puffetjes in? Kom even. Eén is de weg. Die heeft een hele mooie stout gezien. Laten we die pakken. Met gevaar voor eigen leven. Kijk maar. Hij is veel kleiner dan door de kijker. Oh, nog één. En nog één. Pebble Beach. Dat is tevreden. En ik kijk naar de zee. De zee. De voorteind in één, de roze teen. Dat is het iets van die water waar die robben op gaan liggen. Nog even een terugblik door een soort inham, een soort valleitje tussen de rossen en de zee. Helemaal niemand, alleen vogeltjes. En net een vliegtuigje. Zo komen we nu bij een vreselijke close. Waar overheen moet. Voor 10 stand door het water uitgesteekt. Maar ik denk dat er een graafmachine aan het passen komt. Nee, gaan naartoe. Mooi, die is overheen. Ik nu ook. We zijn in Moffat. Het is een actief wereldje. En daarnaast is een klein pottenbakje. Dat zijn natuurlijk ontzettend leuke huisjes. De Singing Potter. Cats and Crafts. Pottery. Dit is een hele bonte tuin achter een wolwinkel aan de theeshop in Moffat. Nou, niet zo dat je het doen. Maar het ziet er zo indrukwekkend mooi uit. Met die huisstraat. Slapper maar wat in de kamer. Boven de parkeerplaats is Moffat. Veel lawaai. Allemaal hard. Bouw. Toeristen. Er wordt allemaal bij het maken ook Moffat als de grootste stad. En hier is ook het smalste vrijstaande hotel. Volgens de Kinderbook of Records. Het hotel heet Hotel Star. Weer zo'n aardige deurkijk. Wat is nou hier roze? Dit is de achterkant van de... En nog zo'n deurkijk. Hangingbank. En het werkt ook allemaal. Dit blijft goed. Dit is het allemaal. Wereldberoemd. Kijk hoe het erin uitziet. Andere kant. Met de broerzak er is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. In the old days, it was watchmates who used to marry a young lady and a young man.
Dit is zoals üblich, dass der Schwede eine hübsche junge Frau und einen hübschen jungen Mann getraut hat.
The legal age for marriage in Scotland has always been 16 years old.
Das war über 16 Jahre.
The old fashioned talk between a nice young lady and a nice young man coming up the road from the English Scottish border.
Hat er oft gesehen, so ein hübsches junges Paar, die Landstraße von England fährt.
Followed by a very beautiful mother and a very angry father of son.
Hinter ihr die heilende Mutter und der böse Vater.
This type of marriage was performed here for nearly 200 years.
200 Jahre lang hat man das hier.
But it ended in 1940 by an act of parliament.
1914 hat das Parlament das abgeschafft.
That's the old days of the full answer for the law. Yeah, no.
Also Antwort für die Frau ist Anwältin. Kommt das? Das wird nicht falsch.
Follow your man.
Wenn die junge Mann auch etwas.
Energy bill.
Da kann man das Spiel auch lesen.
Are you both over the age of 16?
Sind Sie beide über 16 Jahre alt?
Young man, are you single and blind?
Sind Sie ledig und gewillt?
Yes. Fit and gesund?
Fit und gesund, ja.
Do you possess all the back? auch wenn du aufwächst, das kannst du dann mal.
Und Sie verstanden auch, dass Sie jederzeit liebend und treu sein werden, den jungen Mann.
Sometimes the mother wants to go for the father.
Manchmal will die Mutter eine Pille, eine
The sense of humor. They are not energy pills. These are chocolate laxatives.
Das ist ein Witz von dem Spiel. Das ist nicht eine Energiepille, sondern Abführmittel. Das ist der Ring.
Just as a wax that join two metals together, join two weights together in my space, slinging the elbow, what's that?
Was so wie der Schmied zwei Eisen verwandt hat, er zwei Leben auch miteinander verbunden.
You take this beautiful young woman to be your lawful way wife.
Ja, müssen Sie sagen.
You take this handsome young man to be your lawful way husband. What you both repeat after me in English,
Sie
please?
müssen jetzt auf Englisch nachsprechen.
With this ring. I he way. I wish. It was time. To go to me.
Auf Englisch eigentlich dann. Ich wünschte, es wäre Zeit. Ich wünschte, es wäre Zeit zu wechseln. Sehr Herr Gesetz.
Ik ben al met loop.
Now look up there and you'll see whiskey. I'm not going to have another. Very hungry. I'm a very hot cow.
Was ist hier?
Goed jasje. Kom op.
Dan wordt hij een... Kom op, ik wel inkijken.
Ja. Dit is een landouwer, dit is een aanbeeld. Dit is ook een soldaat, de working smith. Allemaal uit die stukken. Zie je? Zie je even verder de dingen? Klik tegen.
Wat er nog?
Dit is een beeld uit Afghanistan. De Black Boerenveld. Hier zo. Zit er bijna op de ras vandaan.
Two men who came together from different worlds. Stan, the thin one, Arthur Stanley Jefferson. Well, that's him. Arthur Stanley Jefferson was born here in Alderson 103 years ago. His father came down from the northeast. He was a Geordie, opened a small theatre here called the Hebrides. They met a local girl, they married, and in fact they were 4 children. There was Gordon, Stan, Beatrice, and Teddy. Here's a nice picture of Stan with his sister Beatrice, little brother Teddy. Incidentally, Teddy had a terrible end. You won't believe this, but you know how Teddy died? He died having a tooth out in a dentist's chair. He went into a Los Angeles dentist's to have just a simple tooth extraction, had a heart attack and died actually having a tooth extraction. That's Teddy. That was 1932. Grandma was Stan's favourite. In fact, Stan used to write letters about his grandma, but one of them he used to write, and this is a picture. He wrote, I used to love to go shopping with Grandma off a Market Street. There he is, there's Granny with a shopping bag. He said that was a big event for me. She used to buy me beers, treacle toffee, and she always good. Incidentally, the treacle toffee and the tin of treacle toffee and the letter are through there in the museum extension. Now, Grandad was a terrible fellow. There he is. He was very short-tempered. Remember, Stan's family were 4 children, and Stan's auntie had 6, so there were 10 children at the time or other, milling around the house in Argyle Street. And you know, whenever the children got naughty, Stan's granddad used to go to the back of the door in the kitchen, and there was a strap, and he used to call it his stirrup strap. It was a little piece of leather on the stirrup of a horse with a book on it. And if he ever got the stirrup strap out, beware, because believe me, he was lethal. He used to hit the lad and boys with the girls on the leg, and they used to be terrified of him. One day, and I have this letter in my possession, Stan wrote a letter to his cousin Mary, and he sent these few words. He said, remember Mary, where we went across the Grange on the train, Alderson to Grange, you go around part of Morecambe Bay, a place called Tridley. And there, the tide comes in at a pretty fast rate. And Stan said, remember, I opened the carriage window and threw something out into the tide, and you wanted to know what it was. And of course, it was a stirrup strap. And Stan said, that's the last time I'm going to ever make it with that stirrup strap. Because somewhere it's floating in Morecambe Bay. By this time, of course, it might be out into the Irish Sea. It's an amazing little story, but it's quite true. From Alderson, the family went to Bishop Walker, County Durham. Stan's father was the manager of the Eden Theatre there. Another group took the family up to North Shields, Doctor Square, where Stan's father had a number of small theatres. When the theatre business declined, he had to move again. This time to Glasgow, to Scotland, where Stan's father was the manager of the Metropole Theatre. In 1910, Stan joined the big time, Fred Carnow's London comedian, Fred Carnow's circus. Come on, folks, everyone sit inside. Come on. You some boys and girls, sit yourself down. Are you quite happy?
Help by Ronnie.
You've been helped by Ronnie. Well, don't get me a pint in, I'll go across to you. You see Ronnie's t-shirt? Is Ronnie there? Ronnie? You see Ronnie's t-shirt? See what it says on it? Ronnie, show the folks what it says on the t-shirt. Where's Bill?
I was all the same in Alderson.
Everybody's looking for me. Everybody wants me, so he gets a t-shirt that says, where's Bill? Because I'm never there.
I've got the idea from his wife.
Normally I'm in a pub somewhere getting drunk. So everybody says, where's Bill?
Usually they wake up to business.
I don't appreciate that one. Where's Bill? What the hell? know, Stan Laurel, it's really Martin Stanley Jefferson, was in the Fred Carroll group, which was led by a comedian called Charlie Chaplin. The Carroll group, led by Chaplin, sailed from Liverpool to New York in the winter of 1910. They opened up with the William Morris Theatre in New York in a show called A Night in an English Musical, which was Fred Carroll's only comedians. The London comedians, unfortunately, came to a sad end, so Stan worked for a number of years on his own with a lady called May Charlotte Goldberg. She was an Australian. A lady from Australia. How about she goes on? Bad news on. You don't get many crickets in Holland, do you? Must be too flat in Holland.
You do it for
Actually, cricket is like watching grass grow slowly. Right. This is a picture of Stan, a young man 23, with May Charlotte Goldberg in Australia. Now, Stan and May never married. The reason was that May was already married. And she had a husband back in Australia, so Stan and May could never marry. But it was interesting that it was while Stan was with May Goldberg that he changed his name. And people used to say, why? Well, how did he get the name Stan Laurel? He decided to change it. He said, well, I'll give it to him, Stan Jefferson. He used to point to that on the building. This is the most amazing piece of paper I've ever received in my life. It's a board with a bit of paper stuff on it. What an interesting piece of paper. It simply says William Morris Theatre, New York, the date 1911. You'll see it's down, sir. The show, A Night in an English Musical, with Fred Carlow's London comedians under the direction of Alf Reed. Away down on the list of sporting players, Stan Jefferson. And as the inebriate, Charles Chaplin, this was a sporting show. Stan was quite convinced that his own name, Stan Jefferson, was unlucky because it contained 13 letters. Now, personally, I wouldn't have thought about it. I'm sure folks who don't sleep at night thinking how many letters you have in your name, but to Stan it mattered. And the interesting thing was, some years later, he changed his name by deel, and these are actually the papers from the court in America. That's the front page, that's the back page, where he changed his name from Arthur Stanley Jefferson to Stan Laurel, and the date 1931. Now, May, his common law wife, changed his name purely by chance. He said, she showed me a picture in the book, the Roman Channel, she had a picture about the Roman Empire. She said, Stan, what do you Laurel? Do something with your life. He said, Laurel was introduced in the conversation. I like the sound of the name, and that was the name I chose. And he said, I never looked back. Interestingly, Stan never became an American citizen. He was an Englishman till the area, and he was proud to be a Lancashire. Now, this particular area of Furness in Cumbria, which is now, was part of Lancashire, because the only roads to this particular peninsula by sea across the Morecambe Bay by stage doors many years ago. That was the link. You see, I have been the mayor of Ulverston twice, and I'm very proud to be able to say that I was responsible for putting the plaque on the house where Stan was born. There was my chamber office, 1974. There's the deputy mayor, Jimmy Ray, and these two folks sadly live since now. Andy Bushby and Bobby Dixon. What a wonderful opportunity I had to show some appreciation here now. Incidentally, I was also mayor in 1985. I met the Majesty of the Queen in England. I was 1973. That's how we think, yes, we were waiting for somebody to buy along. By the way, this is my dear wife Lucy, the boss, the gaffer, the one that holds the purse strings. Lucy, come and meet our friends from all over the world. By the way, these are the folks from Holland.
How much do we have to drink? So you're not fit to drive?
Not fit to drive. I'm sorry, I am not fit to drive. I'm not fit to talk, but I will. You know, it was interesting because Stan was a wonderful letter writer. He wrote many letters to many people. He wrote very, very long letters in great detail. But Oliver Hardy never wrote a letter in his life. Many of the stories that came out about Oliver Hardy were fibs. Because the studios made all sorts of things about him, saying his father was a lawyer and all this stuff. His father was a gangster on the railway. That was his father. Nobody can be responsible for who your father is. In fact, it's sometimes very rare that people don't know their fathers. What is Stan? People say that he's the father of Clint Eastwood. That's a nice story. I've got a little film about that. It's quite easy. I'll tell you about Stan and Clint Eastwood in a minute. Oliver Hardy was born on the 18th of January, 1892. He lived in Alabama, Georgia, in the deep south. His father died when he was born, so he never was dead. His mother remarried and had quite a big family. She married a man called John Powell. Oliver Hardy grew up in Milledgeville, the old state capital, and then went down to Jacksonville, Florida, where he joined the Rubin Film Company. Now, an interesting fact. Oliver Hardy was in over 200 films before he did up with Stan. There's the names of all the films, the dates they were made, and whether there were one or two real, all silent films. And the sad thing is, it's only about 6 months ago, a friend of mine in America, Leo Brooks, told me that all those films were lost in a fire in Jacksonville, Florida, so they're all gone, all destroyed. Every film there, complete films was destroyed. Now, there are some clips, some early Oliver Hardy stuff I'd like to show you. But there are only little clips which were used in compilation films. The original films in their entirety are just so people ask me, how did Oliver Hardy come together? What brought these two men together from different worlds? Now, I was very privileged. In 1978, he got to Chicago. You see, all these sons of the desert that are here today, a lot of them are new. They've never been to Ulverston before. This is their first time here in Ulverston. But I remember going to Chicago in 1978, which is a long time ago. And I was the only person from Europe to go to that first convention. And then I met Royce Wolfstamsdorf and of course Lucille Harding and Hal Roach. Hal Roach died only a few months ago, aged 100 years. He made some wonderful films. He made all the Argan films, the Little Rascals. He made all the Laurel and Hardy films. He made Mice and Men, Long Channing Jr. And he was a wonderful character. I remember talking to Mr. Roach. I asked him the question, how did Laurel and Hardy come together? What brought them together? The answer was this. Look it up. That is the first film I've ever seen of Laurel and Hardy together. There we are. There's Stan with his fingers in his ears. And there's, you see, he's got white hair. He was a redhead. And Laurel and Hardy, different snacks, different eyebrows, different hairstyle. But that, believe it or not, folks, is the first film I've ever seen of Laurel and Hardy together. A film called A Lucky Dog. Hey, I've got some cobwebs up here. How you doing, mate? All right? I'm all right. Thanks for the hey, it's not long. Twins, is it? Laurel and Hardy. He was a big guy. Another fine mission. This is the first film Laurel and Hardy ever appeared in. A Lucky Dog. They came together purely by chance on the Hal Roach studio set, and they worked for a number of years in silent films, and then came along a wonderful invention called sound. Sound, of course, as you know, came in 1927. Well, Laurel and Hardy were making films in sound before they made synchronized sounds. They were made on a separate disc. You know, the jazz singer, that was computed to be the first sound film, which was fair enough. It was a synchronated sound. It was a synchronated, but a nice mess. Why don't you do something to help him?
I'll have to as well.
You'll have to as well. This is a nice saying of Laura and Hardy. A lot of weather we've been having lately. You never met my wife.
Yes, I never did.
Yes, I never did. By the way, Oliver Hardy ever only took a bath on Saturday. Thank you very much. You see, we've got them all planted in.
What's the other bathroom for?
Well, yeah, we've only had a bath on a Saturday. You know, one of the lovely lines in Way Out West, where Stan spoke of these three women to Mary Robertson. She's looking up at him, she said, please tell me, is my daddy dead? Stan said, hope so, very dead. Well done.
What did he die off?
He died of a Tuesday. Or maybe a Wednesday, or maybe a Wednesday. Anyway, come on, just ask me a question on all that. Make it hard, make it hard. Right, I'll show you a film about it. Right, I was Captain Ferrell and Academy. Now, a few years ago, a man called Ray Gosling came to us from Manchester, and he wanted to do a film about the museum. And just that day, somebody rang up and said, is it true that Clint Eastwood is Stan Hall's son? It happened all the time. This is a thing that actually has happened. So I said, right, then go and get the drinks in. So I said, right, yes, it's happened all the time. People ask, is it true? Now, it's quite an unusual story, so I'm going to show you a piece of film. Now, is anybody here from Scotland? No? Maybe you're from Scotland. That's only one from us. Actually, you know, I'll tell you something interesting. I often say to the I've got a lot of friends here from Scotland, there's so many there from Scotland, and I always ask them a question. I asked them, who was Bonnie Prince Town? Does anybody know the nationality of Bonnie Prince Town? This is an act. Bonnie Prince Town? You are joking. He could have been Dutch, but he wasn't. He was French. He was half French and he was half Polish. And on this piece of film, I'm telling you this because on this piece of film, there's a little thing about Bonnie Prince Charlie before we get to Clint Eastwood. 5 minutes. Well, the pub's closing in 5 minutes.
No, you'll go 5 minutes if you don't.
Oh, I've got one then.
It's there.
So I'll be there in 5 minutes. Right, so we're going to find out about Clint Eastwood, Stan Laurel's eldest son. Hang on just a minute.
You know, right?
Hey, no. You've seen this film before. So while I find this film, I'll take a minute, I'll go into my archives for this. So I'll put a little bit of all around it for Well, I find the film, not particularly, we'll do watch a bit of birth maps. Very unusual. This is my attempt to come on, birth maps. This probably is the very first talkie because it was originally made as a silent film and then they put sound to it, so it eventually is the first talkie. Very peaceful, here we come, hang on. Because they know I won't give them the correct answer. And I can assure you, I will give you the correct answer. But before I do, I'd like to show you this little piece of film, the Ray Gosling. It's like the true answer is on TVAM. I like the TVAM for that. What's that have to do?
There is junction 36, from where we're going into South Cumbria, what used to be called North Lancashire. The computer. It'll only send us here once. Lovely day for it. We've driven 14 miles from junction 36, turning around the toe of Windermere, and find the village of Finsterway. Windermere is about half a mile away. What's special about Finsterway? The church. Well, not so much the church, but more what I expect to find in the churchyard. This is it, a simple gravestone, a pretty basic cross, marking the grave of Clementina Johannes Sobieski Douglas of Waterside. Now that's not the most common names in these parts, but then this Clementina was not the most common of people. Now this is complicated. This girl's mother was Clementina Wilkinshaw, and she married the son of Clementina Sobieski, granddaughter of John Sobieski, King of Poland, King John III of Poland. But sadly, this marriage was annulled, and little Clementina was declared a bastard. Our parents were married. The annulment meant that she was made illegitimate. Now both her mum and dad had been married. And the lover, the husband, this little girl's father, was Charles Edward, Louis, John, Cousin Sylvester, Maria Stuart. Bonnie Prince Charlie. Bonnie Prince Charlie's daughter. Here. Now, welcome to Alveston. That's Alveston, down there. Where the church is a health club, so we'll go there. The railway station's a nightclub, but it's morning. There's a bypass that runs right through the centre of the town, and a cafe that closes for lunch. And by the way, Alveston has a lighthouse 2 miles from the sea, like 20 miles from the M6. The lighthouse is a replica of the Eddystone Lighthouse of Plymouth, erected here as a memorial to Alveston and did do well, John Barrow, who founded the Royal Geographical Society. So, that chap got a lighthouse, and Alveston gets a lighthouse. The famous son of Alveston who didn't get the lighthouse was Arthur Stanley Jefferson. He was christened, he grew up, went to school here, son of a comedian. The way will be going. Not thicker than water. A lot thicker than water. This is our Carl Street in Ulverston, where Stan Laurel, in one, Arthur Stanley Jefferson, was born. And there's a plaque on the house. Well, all the furniture and effects, what was in that house, have now been removed to what's an enterprise in the centre of town. There are lots of little back alleys in the centre of Ulverston. This is the Laurel and Hardy back alley. And it's the world headquarters of the Sons of the Desert movement. The museum's in here. That's the map. It's Sir Lavin's cave, really. It's stuffed like a Christmas stocking with every artifact you can imagine. This is a bit of a brass bedstead, reputedly belonging to Stan's granny. And this is the ashtray Stan Laurel had to carry around the house. He's ordered to do so by his wife, so his fag ash fell on the carpet. It's known as a finger ashtray. Let me show you. You push it on your fingers, and oops. So long enough, let's do it.
I am looking for you.
Council Cuban, you're only founder, creator, curator, and twice mayor of the town of Ulverston. Yes, myself. You're doing well with your appreciation society. I think it's really taken off this last few years. We've had a tremendous amount of interest. South World, we have tents now in Germany, Holland, Norway, and of course in the United Kingdom, perhaps 15-20 tents. Tents. Well, groups, yes, we call them tents. They're named after a Roman Hardy film, see? And of course, in the summer of the desert, they have a tent, which is in the oasis. And this is your tent. Well, this is the birthmarks tent. Everyone is named after a Roman Hardy film. We call ourselves the birthmarks after the birth of Stan Laurel. What about this rumor I saw on one of your posters that Clint Eastwood is Stan Laurel's son? Well, it could be. It's possible. He's a good man who knows who his brother is. A better man who knows who his father is. And Stan was in the right place at the right time. I know who's who of Clint Eastwood. He doesn't say who his father is. There's a mystery there. Stan was in Hollywood at the time. And he had a bicycle. You never know. It's possible. Well, can I forgive you a bit? It's true. But it isn't true, of course, but at least it's positive. Bill Cuban, curator of the Roman Hardy Museum, and Ulverston Cumbria, to write to with an explanation of how combination of coincidence and secrecy will make it far-fetched rumor carry on reverberating around the land. Listen to this. Clint Eastwood bypassed all this news with an explanation of his death, and his birthday, May 31st, without specifying year. Elsewhere, he is revealed that he was born in San Francisco in 1930. In 1930, Stan Laurel was at the height of his film career, and May 7th, his wife gave birth to a son in Hollywood, the family of the child lived only 9 days. And because Stan could not bear funerals, they were simply a private promotion. Stan Hardy's infant's death without a funeral, and Eastwood's reluctance to expose the family publicly combined to make this curious rumor. They've said the thought he was very early. Ah, promoting? I think it's not a good story. Could form the basis of a process. Not intentionally, but Stan Laurel was. Yeah, he's a long time ago. But I think it's I think our past mutual pleasure for us. My trip to the Leaf, by the way, we have taken from the Archbishop. The trip to the trip, absolutely. So wonderful piece. Let's enjoyable, actually. The nice evening relaxed entertainment. Anyway, the driving game was all the cars on London E13. That's the night that she enjoyed. Now I'm sitting with a city like Richard, I assure you. I think funny dad. The next week has one more right. Who would you like to have? Oh, that's just a little bit. Yeah. Russell Brand and Max Morris. Very good. Shut it down. One, two. Well, campaign on! Oh, the clock is on the magical abracadabra. With a 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. Are you ready? 1, 2.
See you
Thank you.